So hi guys.
Hi. Hi.
How's everyone doing bright and early this morning?
Fabulous.
Awesome. What we're going to be going over as the very first class is quest writing and how to create an effective quest write-up. The very first thing we're going to talk about is basically a breakdown of the quest and how you can take all the different components and put them together to create something very interesting and very in-depth. So, this booklet that I've handed out to everybody, it's my Quest Master class. This is edition number 2. I made a couple edits. This is just my opinions. These are not necessarily the only hardcore facts that there are out there. There are other ways to create quests that are just as good. This is only a couple of ways, and each person is going to take this and tweak it to their own needs. So this is a great guide. If you want to create a quest on the fly, pull this out. I'll talk to you about how to create your NPCs, how to create areas, all those different steps to create a quick one. If you're planning to create a longer story arc or something like that, there'll be tips on how to create something a little more in-depth and a little more interesting for people to take place in. It can be used to enhance and augment, or just to play and draw. So, the thing we're going to start off with is the basic stories. The very first thing you need in any kind of quest or role-play scenario or story arc or anything like that is a story. And the story is somewhat important, depending on what you're doing. By that I mean when you're creating an instant quest, a pop quest, it's only going to be a one-shot thing. The story's kind of only got to be lackluster. It can be as simple as there's a wizard, he's trying to take over the duchy, he's trying to take over the shire, he's an evil crazy person. You gotta stop him. For a one-shot quest, that's good enough for people to go, I can get behind that, I can jump in, it's on there. But if you're going to be doing something for a larger group, or something for a longer time span, you need to have a more in-depth story arc. There are only 7 stories out there. In the entire world, there's 7 stories. Man versus man, man versus self, man versus nature. We recycle and reuse all these stories all the time. So, using the example I gave you before about the whole wizard trying to take over the duchy, now for a longer story arc, maybe he's not just trying to take over the duchy, maybe he's trying to purge it of all the non-magical beings out there. And in fact, his problem stems from some deep-seated childhood memory and blah 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 blah. The more in depth you go with the story, the more spaces, the more areas you'll have to go when you're actually writing the quest. When you're creating a good background to your story, you want to have about a page or 2 pages just as something to go back to. If you ever get stuck in your quest, go back to your basic story and go, alright, here was a problem. Maybe in this section of the quest, this is where they can find out that as a wizard he was burned by a frying pan, and that's when he discovered he loved magic somehow. I don't know. But something like that, just so that PCs will get a little more interested in the actual characters you're providing. Everyone understands stories. Everyone understands why it's important. I'm not going to go really far into that. Stories are as vast as you can imagine, but create your own. There's no such thing as a bad story. So just make sure to use the tools you have to make sure that there's something interesting. Your villain is your most important thing. He's got to have some reason behind his actions. The archetypes of, hey, I'm just a bad guy. I want to kill everything. Again, that'll work for a pop quest. For a long story quest, it's going on for 3 to 4 months, or it's going to be something that you want them to really sink their teeth into, or an event quest, it's not going to fly with people. Why are you a bad guy? Why do you want to kill everything in the world? How does it possibly benefit you? Oh, you want to take all of our skeletons and turn them into your mindless zombie hordes. I'm kind of against that thought. Not a big fan. But again, everyone kind of get that? Pretty simple. The next we're going to talk about is who your quest is intended for. What size of group are you going to be doing? And in this packet I described 3 types of groups. There's your, I call them the company groups. These are your groups of 1 to 7 people. Kind of like what we did last night for all those who were here, where it's so intimate you can interact with each one individually and really bring them into the story. As opposed to larger ones where there's 150 people. The more intimate the group, the more enriching of an experience they can have. So, the company, usually about 5 to 9 people. In rare cases, this would include a single person quest. I have done this. They're really fun to do. They're very interesting. You'll get great character depth out of the person. If somebody is new to the game and they just have no idea what they want to do for a character, this is a great way of getting them to just flesh out their character, to have characteristics, and that persona will become so much more relevant. Like I said, this is my personal favorite style of questing, is the small company quests. It's just so much more of a rich experience for people. That's what I specialize in. That was company. Up next is park. I skipped park. Park is your shire, your barony, your duchy, your kingdom. These include everybody at your local field. When doing some of this, you can have something long going. You can do it once a month. You can do it twice a month. You can do it every week if people are interested. But it has to have a direct relation to your park. They have to have a reason why they want to be doing this quest. So, for example, in a shire, every once in a while, yeah, they can save the world. That's cool. But if a shire is saving the world every single day, it's going to become boring and dull. Every once in a while, they've got to have a problem with goblins. They've got to have a problem with some bandits, things like that. That includes for barony, duchy, and kingdom as well. Not every single week can they save the goddamn world. Because guess what? The world's not always that much in danger. Because eventually people are going to go, screw it. I don't care anymore. The world is going to blow up. I'm just delaying the inevitable. So when it comes to your local groups, make sure you mix it up. Yes, every once in a while the sun is going to explode, and only by completing this quest will you prevent the sun from exploding. Or the next week, yeah, the sun was going to explode last week, but this week there's just some goblin problems. You gotta go take care of that shit. And use your group's history behind it as well. If your group has a wizard's tower, has a mansion of some kind, incorporate that in the story. Create landmarks for your park, so that later on, when there's open role play or things like that, this will become a much more important location. So that people can just do open role play there and have somewhere where they know, remember this one time when we were here and the sun almost exploded? And the next week we had to go stop some goblins? Yeah, that was bullshit. And the last size of quest is the event quest. By far, this is the most difficult kind of quest run. This is the kind of quest that we're going to be running this weekend. Yay! Start with the hardest one you can possibly do. The reason why this is so hard is I don't have any clue as to why this is hard.
So many people.
So many people. Why is so many people an issue?
Because
always
lots
work
of people
together.
lose interest.
What?
Lots of people lose interest.
Lots of people lose interest, yeah. It's a good one. A lot of people get bored. A lot of people with ADD. A lot of people.
ADD.
You gotta keep them all busy and have enough for everyone to be doing something.
Touching on it right there. Not only do you have to keep them busy and something to do all the time, they all need a why. There are evil characters out there. There are some people who just go out there and are playing a bad character. If you don't give them a reason why their interests are involved, they're just going to screw with your quest. They are just going to go out of their way to kill every single PC because that's what their character would do. Or that's what they would consider fun. So, when you're doing event-style quests, you got to make sure that you incorporate reasons for not only good characters, which are the most common ones, the people you really want to have out there, but also evil characters. I can name a dozen event quests that were absolutely ruined because the person went, yeah, you guys are all here just to save the lands. Woo! And the bad guys went, no, we're not. Can you guys play good characters? No. That's one thing. You guys gotta let your PCs play whatever they want to play. So, if you're gonna do a large event-style quest, you need to make sure there's a wide range of evils. Either A, their lives are also in danger. B, there's a powerful item at stake at the end of all of this. D, there's a lot of money involved. Those three things are what's going to really entice everybody, especially evil characters. Huh, if I complete this quest, I'll find a very powerful potion that might make me immortal? Yeah, I'm going to stick this one out all the way to the end. They're still going to kill your PCs and take stuff from them and do all this and that. But they will be working to further the quest as opposed to work against it. So whenever you're creating the event stuff quest, you always got to go, okay, the good characters are doing this because they're good. Hey!
Oh, no. Yeah.
The bad characters are doing this because... Oh crap, why are the bad characters doing this?
So I'm
And then there's Omega.
something out of this.
Bad characters, there we go. There has to be a reason why. Gold, and especially if you're offering gold, try and have them. You know, gold. How many people were annoyed last night? I'm like, yeah, you got 200 gold. Yeah. So if you're going to offer them something as a reward, try and have something there. Either a voucher saying, I owe you 200 gold. Or if you popsicles. Popsicles, gold popsicles. Or it's just something that's tangible, right? The reward from the quest should be tangible. Let me go through to make sure I haven't missed anything. Gold belt. Oh yeah. The other thing about event style quests, it's important to have a centralized. Here, I'm going to use my magical whiteboard. A centralized concept. In events, you kind of want to have a hub. One location where this is Nirvana, and this is where everybody's going to go whenever there's any issues when they die.
What did you just write in the middle of that?
Nerd.
That's all my students have to deal with too. So.
Really? That does not look like nerve.
It doesn't even look like a word. I thought you were drawing little people in there. Yay!
There you
Much
go.
better.
Everyone make fun of Tim's handwriting. So one central section where there's going to be Nirvana. The reason why you want this is because the most boring part of any quest is what?
When you're dead.
When you're dead. It sucks. In all my event quests, I began to use a new system where if you die, you return to Nirvana. At Nirvana, you are being taken care of. You are alive, technically. You are unable to leave Nirvana. So for the 5 minutes that you are dead, you are able to still roleplay, interact, and potentially, if there is something taking place in Nirvana, still do part of the quest. This keeps people involved with it, and potentially just keeps them wanting to stay there. Because if you have to sit there for 5 minutes and go, you just broke character, which means it's harder to get them back. Once they're locked, they're locked. But if you lose them, they're gone. And also, at that center point, if there's going to be something like that, keep an innkeeper or a angel or something like that who is aware of everything that's going on in the quest and go, hey, this is going on, this is going on, this is going on. A central location where in an event quest, they should be able to get a 5-second recap and understand what everything that's going on still. Alright? In the quest that we'll be running this weekend, our Nirvana is going to be somewhere in a celestial kingdom. They're going to be able to turn there when they're dead. There's going to be people there who can be telling them which gates are open. Small little puzzles they can solve to shorten their death count. Riddles and things like that. There's no reward towards the quest. You're not completing the quest, but you're shortening your own death count. Beneficial for the player, not beneficial necessarily for the entire quest. So those are ways to keep people locked in, and also ways to make sure that people stay involved. From there, each section should be kind of spreading out from here, and equal distances. Yes, if you're using terrain stuff like that, you're going to have some areas that are super far, some areas that are super close. What you want to do is make sure that those paths all lead back to the central hub with relative ease. You have somebody who's new to the area and has never been there before. It's going to suck if they're going, okay, I died.
Where do I go?
I came that way, did a 1 kilometer hike over around that way. Okay. So it's easier if they just have to go, hey, follow the one path I'm on. Oh, I'm back in Nirvana. Awesome. As opposed to getting lost in the woods, which at Battle of the Dens can be a major issue. Right?
God.
So that's your event style quest. Again, it's a more complicated one than when you guys are starting off with this weekend, but it also can have the highest amount of reward. You have so many people involved with these things that if they're enjoying themselves, everybody's going to be coming up to everyone who's part going, wow, that was awesome. I can't believe this one part of the fight, blah, 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 blah. And you have the point where people telling you the exact same story from a different point of view, where they saw things completely opposite. And that one guy slept the show. So everyone understand those 3 different types? Okay, what are they?
Company and the event.
The park, the company, and the event style quests. Park is always local about your group. You can do whatever you want there. Try and keep it simple, and then every once in a while do a bigger one. Don't do it the other way. Do simple, regular, do big every once in a while. Otherwise, the impact is lost. Your company can do whatever you want there because it's so privatized. You can do world ending regularly, or you can do personal character death type things, something like that. And it can stay interesting always because you're only going to do them every once in a while. Event style quest is almost always going to be something massive. Almost always. Every once in a while you might get one where it's like, yeah, we're just fighting off some bandits. It can work too, it's cool. But event quests are always allowed to be something with a little more gusto to them. Up next is the quest types. This is not a complete list. This is only a couple of examples. These ones are the most common ones you'll find, and I guarantee you, you guys have, whoever here has run quests before, has done at least one of these styles, because you don't realize it. The very first one is the guided quest. The guided quest is for a group of about 1 to 10 PCs. You can do a little bit more, but the more that they are, the less of an enriched experience you'll be getting for them. This is probably one of the easier style quests to do, because as a quest master, you're able to be there and go, you see in front of you a large wall slowly crumbling. You see vines rolling up it. You think you'll be able to climb it if you try. As opposed to an event where you have to go, I'm building a fucking wall with vines going up it. As a QM, you can sit there and play off your imagination, the guided style quest. You're always there, you're always nearby, you're always able to enhance the experience through just telling them what they see. That's the most important part about the guided quest, is almost always talking, always going, in front of you see a large monster. Horns stand 2 feet above its head. Its fangs 6 inches long, they seem to glow in the dark, drool slowly coming off its maw. Just things like that will keep you going, whoa! And meanwhile, it's me standing there in an orange tavern. I don't look as cool, but the description will cause people to go, I'm going to use my imagination. I love guided quests at night, especially, because then the imagination, people are already a little more nervous at night. Always on automatic, just a little more uneasy because they can't see as well. So using their imagination always plays against them. We had a quest at Battle of the Dens where I had a couple of NPCs hiding in the swamp area. And as the PCs rolled in, all they heard was my sister and a couple other girls going, and then they heard Finola start singing this really creepy, like little girl sounding like, or something like that. And they all kind of went, do do. So it just using simple description, especially in nighttime stuff, is really gonna mess with their heads. It's a lot of fun, but you also have to know where the boundaries are. If people are physically uncomfortable at that point, you gotta take a break and let them regroup themselves. It's still for fun. So if people are literally going, okay, I'm trying to have a panic attack, you go, we'll take a pause. No big deal. The other thing about this is that, like I said, you're always going to be there, but there needs to be a reason why you're always going to be there. Yes, you can do the out-of-game quest master going out and following you guys, saying everything you guys need. But what's really fun as a quest master, and this is just for your personal fun, play a character. Play a dwarf that they're following. Play a Sherpa that they need to go with. Why are they following this quest? In the guided quest, there's only one path. Point A, B, C, and D. And they can only follow this path by following your line. But for PCs, that can be very boring, because you're taking away every ounce of their ability to change path. So when you're doing guided style quests, there always has to be a reason why they're only taking this path. The mountainside is the only way up. You want to teleport? Go for it. Ah, you slipped the fall. Can you see the top of the mountain right now? No? You can't teleport up there. With the guided style quests, there has to be a reason why they're following you in this fashion. PCs don't like splitting up. So if we're going K, yes, we're going to follow this path because it's a mountainside. It's the only safe way to going up. I'm the Sherpa, you're guarding me. Or I'm the dwarven fighter, and you're guiding my caravan. I don't like teleporting to any of that shit. No, we're walking. You guys need some exercise. There always needs to be a reason why. And it doesn't need to be a super, like, The magical ley lines of this area prohibit any form of movement. If we walk outside these lines, we'll be killed and severed and destroyed and eaten by 1,000 angry squirrels.
On to something.
It just needs to be something simple like this is the safest path. You're following me because you're protecting me. You're anything like that. But you have to have a reason, otherwise PCs will get very angry as to why they're not allowed to separate and go off. Descriptive, chirpa. Yep, that's pretty much it about that one. Again, guided quest is my favorite style. Follow them the entire time, you can describe everything. There's got to be a reason why they're following this path. But it is, in my opinion, one of the funnest style quests to run. But don't do it for big groups, do it only for about 10 people. You're being that, you're trying to get a little bit more heck. The Dropbox quest. I call this Dropbox quest again. It is probably one of the most common types of quests, and it's super simple to run. If you're going to make a pop quest, and you kind of make it up on the fly, and be like, hey, I feel like we're running a quest today. Sweet, I'm going to. Dropbox quest. Easiest thing to do. Again, we're going back to that whole central location thing. Your Nirvana. I-R.
Yay!
Central location of some kind. Dropbox is usually, there are 4 areas in my quest. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And my central area. I am a famous knight, or some famous fighter, or some famous monster of some kind. When I was on my way to your lands, something jumped me. A demon, a elemental, a squirrel. The squirrel took...
That rabbit.
That damn rabbit. It took from me my legendary sword of power. The squirrel chewed it up and split it into 4 parts. Assemble for me those 4 parts from the evil squirrels, and I will reward you.
I don't know. Squirrels like that, I don't want to fucking wait.
You're legendary. You're nuts. And you need me to go defend you from squirrels? Really? So the concept is very simple.
Brave Sir Robin.
Ran away. The concept is very simple. There's 4 items that they need to get. So in here, using the sword, there's the hilt of the sword. And here, there's the blade of the sword. Over here, there's the magical essence. And up here is the sheath of the sword. Alright? And all the PCs have got to do is go to each section, do an objective at each one, and then come back to the center. How many people have done this quest before? Yeah, I'm guaranteeing almost everybody here has done. Or there's been 2 objectives, or 3, or something like that. It's very simple, it's very easy to do. You can replace it with, instead of they're a knight, I'm a wizard. I need to get 4 alchemical components. I'm a barbarian, I need to get 4 herbs. I'm a, anything that they're gathering stuff, this is what you're going to be, this is a very simple quest, the way of doing it. So, in this one here, there's a riddle. There's a riddle there. Over here, there's a fight. Over here, there's some kind of role-play scenario. And up here again, let's do another fight. One thing to remember about Amtgard, we are a combat-themed game. Every single quest should have some form of combat. You can have it so that they can bypass it by not fighting at all, but if you're doing it for a large group of people, there needs to be fighting. Otherwise, the ditch monkeys, people who are going out in quests just to fight something, get bored, and start killing PCs. Like that. It's going to happen, I guarantee you. If there's no fighting in your quest, PCs are going to die. So, there always needs some combat in some way, but anyways. So they go and do all 4 items. They go get all 4. They scurry on back to the Magic Knight who's terrified of squirrels. Bring all 4 items together. The Magic Knight goes, ah, la, 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 la. Sword! Yay, it's all back. Oh no, summoning the sword, now I have to fight the evil boss. So, they go out, they get the items, they come back, the item is formed, boss fight of some kind. It might not be a boss fight, it could just be, hey, sword's done, adios. Or, hey, you made me my sword, awesome, I'm actually an evil knight. Good job, guys. Everyone kind of get that one. It's probably one of the simplest ones to do. If you go back to your home park and you just want to run a quest, just pop one of these guys out. It's super simple. You can go into your trunk and find 4 things. You can find your scraper, your windshield washer fluid, and something else. And
It's to fix the water dragon.
you're all set. Everyone understand this one? Pretty simple, pretty easy to do.
No, this is a trap.
Back to the auto place.
I call this one the free range. It's very, very similar to the Dropbox quest, except it's got a couple extra steps to it. In the free range quest, PCs go everywhere at once. These are designed for groups, for event quests, things like that. You're not controlling the PCs in any form or fashion. Neither were you controlling them with this one. You just go, be gone, be free, walk, roam. In this one here, it's the same concept. You're going to be letting them go out on their own and do stuff. But in the free range quest, the difference is, now, instead of just being able to do the one objective and get the item and bring it back, there's multiple steps. So, to get the hilt, you now need to go and collect a sample of water from over here. But when you get there, it turns out that there's monsters that you have to fight before they let you get into the water. Fight the monsters, get into the water. Oh, you're in the water? Looks like there's another zombie or something like that, or there's just multiple steps in each one. Over here, you have to try and get the sword, the actual blade of the weapon. How to be able to get that one, turns out the blade is not finished. So now you need to go over to the mines, go to the mines, get there, find out it's caved in. Balls, caved in, how are you supposed to get inside? Now you gotta leave the mines, go back to this section over here, and find out there's somebody with explosives. Now you gotta complete their puzzle to get the explosives, to go back to the mine, to blow open the mine, to get into the mine, to get the minerals, to go back to the sword, to fix the sword, to finally bring back the guy. Wow. These are chain quests. They're most commonly, anyone use WoW terms, chain quests. That's the type of stuff you're looking for the free range. Very similar concept though. 4 areas, 5 areas, how many areas you want to do. And there's going to be multiple objectives, where one will lead into another, will lead into another. The other advantage to the free range stuff is that you make people go between all the different areas and actually experience the full range of your quest. So they have to travel, they have to go and experience every section. As opposed to the fighters in the Dropbox quest and go, alright, so which one's the fighting one? That way? Back. They go do their section, they fight, they kill all the monsters, they kill the 6 dragons you send at them, whatever. Come back. There you go. I'm waiting for everybody else. I'm not doing the puzzle, the roleplay shit. I'll wait here. This one here is a little more involved. People have to have skill in role-playing, fighting, puzzle making, all that stuff. This type of quest is a little more difficult to write. And we'll get into actually writing quests once we're done talking about these things. But the reward is better, because people go, I do this and this and this and this and this. Why do I have to do that? And that's where you run into a lot of issues. People going, when you use a QM view, everything in one direction, go, okay, they're going to do this and this and this and this and this, and hilarious, awesome. And the PCs walk through your quest and go, I don't understand why I had to do all these things in this way. I did them because that's how the quest was done, but I don't understand why. That goes back to kind of the story and the flavor. I'm going to go get the sword. I go to the sword, turns out it's not fixed. Well, that means I get some more metal to go and fix it. Alright, I'm going to the mine. Oh, it's collapsed. Oh, fireball doesn't work. Oh, powerful blows doesn't work. It's really collapsed. I go get some dynamite. Guy who has the dynamite. Oh, he wants me to solve a puzzle for him. That's a logical chain of thought. That makes sense. People can follow that, understand why they got to go from one to the next. It's when you're doing something like, for the hilt, well, the guy there says he wants you to go ahead and go and go free his giraffe. Alright, I'm going to go free the guy's giraffe, I guess. Walks on down, gets to the giraffe. Oh, the giraffe's not there. Somebody else has already stolen him. And now, slowly but surely, the quest is kind of sidelining towards this whole thing towards the giraffe. Yes, it leads back. But if the PC joins in somewhere in the middle there, they're going, why are we after this giraffe? How the fuck does the giraffe relate the hilt of the sword? It doesn't make sense. So whenever you're doing a chain like this, you gotta make sure just it flows and it's logical. Everyone kind of understand that part? The time-dependent quest. This one's going to take a little while to explain. If you guys all want to go to the back there, you'll see a write-up of a quest that I did at Battle of the Dents 3 years ago now. It was called the Dragonflight Quest. Personally, it was probably one of my favorite quests I've ever ran. This is the write-up for a 2-hour quest. This is everything that you need to know to be able to run this thing. It's very hard to explain at first. You kind of got to go through the whole rundown of the quest, and then go through each detail. When you're describing things to your NPCs, you're going to do an overview, so they understand the whole picture, and then you're going to go through each individual quest. How a time-dependent quest works. Let me pull up my super fancy what do you call
It dances?
Dancing in the wind. Time-dependent quests are exactly what they sound like. They're completely dependent and will change with time. This is a great resource if you're going to have not a lot of NPCs and you want to get a lot done. This way you can shift NPCs around, you can keep things going, and it spices things up with PCs. It guarantees you that PCs are going to only take 2 hours as opposed to a quest where if it's free-range event quest, it could take them what you think is 2 hours, but it actually takes out the PC 6 hours to complete.
Yeah.
At which point they're going, oh my god, I just want to be done. What are we missing? Time dependent, no problem. At X time, quest is over. You have either successfully completed most of the quests, or you have failed the majority of them, and you failed the quest. This is probably one of the best styles for events, because it's going to guarantee you stay on time. So, you have your timeline. We're just going to say that our quest is going to be 2 hours long. Alright? 2 hours, 0 hours. The center here is 1 hour. 30 minutes. 1:30. And you'll break it into however many sections you want. So for this intention here, we're going to say we're going to break the quest into 15-minute sections, okay? You'll notice in the Dragonflight one, it's broken down into 20-minute sections. I usually find 20 minutes is more appropriate. It gives PCs time to do everything without having to super rush, but still keeping pressure on them. The way a time-dependent quest works is that you're going to set out X amount of quests. So we're going to say that in this time-dependent quest, there's going to be 2 factions. There's going to be the Evil Shane. Hi, Evil Shane.
Hi, Evil Shane.
Hi, Evil
My
Shane.
guys, I've been evil for like.
And the
6
Goody
months
Two
now.
Shoes Page. So we got Shane, and we got Paige. Paige owns an army of archangels. She is a holy avenger of wrath. She has followed her nemesis Shane, the demon prince, to the world of Amtgardia. She knows that in exactly 2 hours, Shane's demonic peons are going to perform a ritual to bring Shane to full power.
And he'll start to look like a bear.
And he'll start to look like Chris.
So the evil me is Chris.
Careful, man.
Paige is going, I need all of you guys to stop this. Shane, who's only in his weakened form, is going, anyone wants to help me? Evil power, temptation, all that stuff. So, Paige is going to have a series of quests. The first quest is going to be you proving to her that you are good enough to work for her. You need to go and slay 20 demons, something like that, right? So demon slaying. Demon slaying is going to last the first half an hour of the quest. And that is going to be Paige's quest. They have between hours... Some help with whiteboards in the back. You're going to have 20 or 30 minutes to slay 20 demons to prove to Paige that you are good enough for her. Shane, in the first 15 minutes, is going to do nothing. He's not going to be active yet. So Shane's first quest is going to be 15 minutes.
Nap time.
Hey, villains
At
need their
15
naps.
minutes, when Shane comes into the world,
Otherwise, I'm cranky.
all of a sudden he begins a quest where it's going to be, I need you to go and spy on Paige and get the secret password from her.
Banana.
It's bananas. And you will have 15 minutes to complete Shane's banana quest. Meanwhile, in Paige's world, still while the first quest is going on, she realizes Shane has entered the world. Oh no, that's not good. Shane can't be in this world. So Paige sends everybody else out to go and do another quest. This quest is to go and try and set up a holy area around where Shane is. This way it'll take him longer and be more difficult for him to arrive into this world. That quest is going to last half an hour. Bringing Paige's to the 45-minute mark. 45 minutes. Shane's next quest is going to be, okay, you've proven me, you've stolen the evil password, blah, 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 blah. Now I'm going to go get you to bring me the essence of a car. I don't know. I'm running out of ideas here, right? Well, Shane's quest for the car is actually going to start at 15 minutes. But it's going to last all the way until the 1 hour mark. Now, those two quests overlap. But still, for Shane, you must complete the banana quest before you can move on to the car quest. Alright? So you're still doing a linear line of you have to do this objective before you can do this one. But you have more time to do the second. Alright. Back to Paige's world. 45-minute mark. Now it's time to start raising my army of archangels. To do this, we need to go and perform a ritual. You are going to guide me to this holy land where I'm going to perform something. Hallelujah. Quest begins at 45 minutes. It is going to last until... We're going to make this one really long so that my explanation can end quicker. It's going to last until 1:30. This is a guided quest. You need to grab Paige, walk through the Valley of Evil to go find the Holy Land. She performs ritual, her armor appears. Awesome. Meanwhile, in Shane's world, at the time of 1 hour, Shane now has his car and his secret code word banana. Now it's time for Shane to set up a trap for the enemy team. He's going to summon the League of Evil Squirrels.
Oh no.
Once again, you're gonna steal that knight's sword.
Go back and
That's
steal
what-
that knight's sword.
That's where that comes from.
They all
Shane is raising... This is why the knight's sword got lost. Shane actually lost the final battle and the squirrels just went loose. Shane needs you to go out in the forest and convince all the squirrels to come back with you. Then you're going to lead them into this evil pool, and they're going to become corrupt squirrels.
It's actually my trunk.
This brings us back to an hour and a half. Now, Shane has his army of evil little squirrels. Paige has her force of archangels. Archangels versus squirrels.
Final battle.
At 1 hour and 30 minutes, the final battle begins. This is where the two lines merge. And you're going to come up with some kind of unique battle using these systems. Now,
Squirrels versus angels.
squirrels versus angels.
You said bananas.
That's
Extra
right.
meaning.
Now, if you go to the Dragonflight quest,
Angels don't have nuts.
Just drive around.
or do it.
That is
If you go to the Dragonflight quest and look in the back of it, under each quest you're going to see quest completed when. So for precious minerals, all the dragons have received the element. Repeatable. Once for each dragon. Once each dragon has one, any dragon may accept a second. These quests during the timeline thing can either A, be repeatable, or B, one-shot things. So Paige is going to send out everybody over and over and over again to prove that they're good people. Shane is going to keep sending people out to go get banana password, even if he knows it. Those quests are repeatable. Everybody can do them. This allows PCs to stay involved and doesn't close off the quest chain. But underneath that, you'll see quest fail. No palladium is given to the dragons. Time limit 60 minutes of the stampede. The quest fails if after 30 minutes, once Shane's banana quest started, if they haven't given them the password by time 30, quest failed. That's not the whole quest, but that section of the quest fails for him. That is going to relate directly to the final battle. If he doesn't get the password banana, now he can't get inside of his fortress. Now instead of being him fighting inside the fortress, now he's got to fight outside of it. It's a vulnerability for him. Page's quest. For first one to go and make you prove that you're good.
Purple thing.
If you do not complete Paige's first quest, you don't prove to her that you're a good person. You can't do any further quests for her. She will then lose everything else. If that's going to be a major problem, though, if that's going to be one of those things where you have to complete this for any further quest chains to happen, it's going to be a longer one. So I like that one 30 minutes. Typically, those ones are going to last. Instead of only being 30 minutes, Paige's Prove to Me You're a Good Person quest is actually going to run an hour and 15 minutes. So people can still get the chance to go up and go, hey, I'm a good person, can I do your quest now? Alright, cool. And then these ones will still take place at their appropriate time. But you need to complete this one to be able to do any of the other ones. See how that works? You unlock their path, and they can complete their quest as you see. Is everyone with me? Everyone still following me? Anyone have any questions so far? Okay. Let's say you aren't able to raise Paige's army of archangels. Well, now she's fighting by herself and with you guys against Shane's army of infinite squirrels. It's not like most of these squirrels are vicious. So every single quest in a scenario should have a pass-fail objective. What I've done here is a good versus evil. When you're doing these, you gotta be careful, because one team may choose just not to help the other side. They may just go, no, I'm not helping evil. Or they may go, I'm not helping good. And if your end scenario for the whole thing is that if Shane wins, the world's destroyed.
Yay!
Yeah.
Apocalypse!
Woo!
Yeah, I win again.
If instead Shane's end rhetoric is, if that Shane wins, he's staying around and going to torture all the parks for the next 6 months, that's a little more reasonable. Because now, A, they failed, and they have to deal with the consequences. So, this is the type of question we're running for bot team. A whole bunch of things go on at the same time, but each one is independent. If we're going to have factions, you're going to be able to do them for the factions. When you lay it out this way, when you lay it out in a timeline, it's a lot easier to understand. If you lay it out as, oh yeah, you're going to do this, and at this time you're going to do this, and blah, 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 your NPCs are going to look at you like you're on crack. They're going to be completely confused and unable to do your quest because they don't understand. Flip to the page where there's the pretty little diagram.
Diagrams make sense. That gave me one earlier. Oh, I wanted this and it didn't make any sense.
Sometimes they don't. But if you look at it, there are quests laid out. I started at the beginning with the first ones, and there are two type quests. There's the Dragon Quest and the Hunter Quest. Each quest actually helps you progress to fighting the final Thrash fight thing. But you notice that wherever the bars are, they fill up that timeline. They're still open during that. The bars are white, they're no longer open. You follow the line down, whichever quest is open at any time is the quest that is available. I had two sections. I had the Dragons and I had the Hunter. We went to each of them. Each of them had this exact diagram and all their quest objectives. And they would just hand them out depending on what time it is. But you also have to make sure that each one of them understands time. What time it is. That means you've got to be running around going, blowing the whistle every 20 minutes, or in this case, every 15 minutes going, "Woo! Time change." Go back to your NPCs and find them and be like, hey, did you hear the whistle? Yeah? Hey, did you hear the whistle? No? You're on the next one. Start it up now. Everyone kind of get that? It's the time-dependent quests require a lot more forethought to them, but actually run a lot smoother than any other quest. because everything's broken down into sub-objectives. And if I'm having a couple of monsters being random stampeders, I just go, hey, when I blow the whistle this time, you're billing this. There you go. You're doing this, doing this. We'll talk about NPCs and how you select them in a little bit, but it's a lot easier to just give them everything and go, here's an independent thing, and you're going to be doing this afterwards when I blow this whistle. Everyone kind of get this time-dependent concept? It's easier to see once you write it down like this, but hearing that there's 20 quests to complete, and you only have 2 hours to do them all in, it sounds overwhelming. These will actually run very smoothly as long as you know what you're doing and you really plan them out. You also have to think how, if you fail in this one, will it affect other things above it. Ultimately, every quest they succeed in is going to help their side in the final fight. Every quest they fail to complete is going to hurt them. There's one quest at the Dragonflight. Surprisingly enough, the PCs only failed one quest in the Dragonflight. They failed the quest where, if you do not cleanse the wells, a percentage of them are going to be poisoned. Poison was weakened. Half of the entire team, of everybody that was there, was weakened for the final fight, for all their lives. It's a hurt, it's a painful one. But you have to understand that in a quest, failing can sometimes just be as interesting as succeeding. Because then people are going, hey, I fought a Tarrasque while weakened and won. What up? Alright. Does anyone have any questions about the time-dependent quest? It's a more complicated one. I understand if anybody has anything they want to add, say, anything like that. No? Alright. Moving right along then. Up next, NPCs and monsters. Now guys, NPCs and monsters are your bread and butter of questing. Without them, you're a crazy guy sitting in your basement writing up stories.
I.e. you.
I.e. me. Thank you.
Well,
Doing this is worse than fan fiction.
Oh.
Yeah, I went there, that's right. NPCs are what's going to make your quest happy. It's what's going to make it good. It's what's going to make it fun for PCs to enjoy. So, whenever you have an NPC, always thank them. Always be nice to them. Always be polite. Thank you for coming out. Thanks for doing this quest. Do you understand everything? Do you have any problems? Talk to me. Let me know. We can fix them out. If you have any suggestions on how this should switch around. Last night's quest, for all those who were here, the initial plan was that Shane was going to be the groundskeeper for the quest. Shane rolls in with that giant demon's horn thing, that awesome helmet thing, and goes, hey, can I instead be a minion for this guy? Yeah. Awesome. It didn't change how the quest ran. You still had to solve the riddle for him. It just changed his character. So take comments and thoughts from NPCs. You don't always have to change your quest based on them. You can go, it's not going to work because it just doesn't work for later on sections. But if it does work, let them play with it. Let them be creative with you. If you've given an NPC the opportunity to really put themselves in the quest, it's only going to make things better. Because now, they're really going to sell their part. And that's going to help you sell your quest.
I'm having a rocky coffee.
And that Shane's gonna come back. Some kind of demon thingy with the heart.
The single most important thing about quests is your NPC selection. Who's being your NPCs and why. I have always broken down players into categories for my NPCs. Let me go back to my wonderful board.
yay!
I'll write whole words and spell them properly too.
Woo! Whole words.
Tim can't spell.
Fighting. Casting. Role play. Confidence. There's an E there. And read. in my mind, this is not how you guys have to break them down. This is how I break down every single fighter, or every single NPC I ever have. Fighting is fairly self-explanatory. Can you fight? How good of a fighter are you? If I have my choice, I am not going to make dear little Paige be the final boss dragon when there's 60 people swarming her and she's got to fight off a whole bunch of people. Love you, dear. I'm not going to make you be the big bad dragon. I might try and get Shane to be that dragon. He's a better fighter. I know this. He's a solid fighter. I often get picked as a final boss fight. So does Shane. Because we are well-rounded for a lot of these things. If I'm going to get you to be a random roaming orc, and all your job is to keep those people who are just going to try and PvP, well, I'm not going to pick somebody who's going to be a heavy flirt and make them go and run around and do that. Because it's going to change very quickly, and you'll notice this. You pick a role-play person for a fighting role, they're going to be going around, ha-ha! How are you doing today? I am doing excellent. And you're going to watch them just create side objectives and red herrings and all these things that you're going, oh my god, you're supposed to die! Just die!
It was like in Katie's quest for the mid-rain, and I was playing the wounded general, and everyone healed me and walked around with me. Like, my army's gonna get here and kill all of you. Yeah, whatever, crazy man. No, seriously.
Really, guys, my army's gonna come.
You're all going to die. Yeah.
So, determine whether a person is a good fighter, and what level fighter they are. If you just need them to be a pop goblin, or a bat, short sword, doesn't really matter what level of skill they're at, they can be effective. They have tons of lives, and they're gonna go, ha-ha, I'm dead. Ha, I'm dead. It doesn't matter. The next category is casting. People who understand magic. People who are spellcasters by their natural class. They understand wizard magic, healer magic, druid magic, bard magic. They know their ranges. They know if I say you have 2 stops per life, a confidence, and 3 confusions, they're going to go, okay. They're not going to go, oh, confusion. What does that do? How do you cast it? What's the range? What's the school? And you're going to go, oh. I'm going to get you to be a big monster character or something like that who's using magic all the time. You want to make sure they understand casting. I'm not going to get somebody who's a heavy fighter who goes, I love throwing sticks, and go, here, I have some spell balls and some magic. They're going to go, ha-ha! Swing the spell balls! Woo! So you want to make sure that you're picking the appropriate NPCs for the roles. Role play is pretty self-evident. Somebody who can think on their feet. Shane last night. You know what Shane's instructions for me were? Here's a riddle. You're the groundskeeper. Oh no, wait, sorry, no, you can be a demon guy. And you're gonna send him to the maze. Those were his instructions. What happened last night?
Oh god.
He went on 5-minute speeches to you all, how you were all pathetic little creatures that can never understand anything. He has this he has this contract with this demon thing, and the only way that he's got to defend him in some way. So instead of making you die, he'll just give you a puzzle, and if you defeat him, then you can go on, and blah 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 blah. Shane made that up. That wasn't me.
What about the water?
That was me fucking with you.
Good job, you kept our stick distracted.
Yep.
Hi. That's just what?
Good stuff, Shane.
But
If the camera wasn't behind you, I'd throw my water bottle at you.
That's working.
But you see how a good character of role-playing really adds to a situation where you can just, and if I trust that person, if I go, I know Steve's a great role-player, I can go, Steve, here, you're playing a dwarf, you have to sell them some ale, you only accept this for money.
Typecast.
Bye. He's going to go, hi-de-di-de-di-de-di-de-di-de, and he's going to start really filling in the character. Right? You can give them some basic instructions, and they're going to go left field with it. They're just going to create this character that's super unique and interesting. You're going to go, huh, awesome. You're better than my main NPC over there. Screw you. Confidence. What I mean by this is the ability to think on their feet. Change things and adapt to PCs being PCs. by this, what I mean is, you're going to come up with 6 ways in which the PCs can break down the wall.
They're gonna come up with 5 others.
And they're not going to use any of them. I mean, okay, to break down the wall, they can use a spear or a fireball. They can use powerful blows. They can... acid balls. Acid balls work too. That's the way they're going to knock down the wall. But if they do, if they throw a fireball at it, it's going to turn to magma and pour all over them. It's trapped now. If they break down the thing, then the thing's going to collapse and crush them. Cool. And then PCs are going to go, oh! Is there a weak stone? Yeah. Put my sword right there. Alright, I'm going to try to use that sword as a wedge. Sword, I shove you. Thing falls down. I didn't tell the NPC that was one of the things that would work. But it's cool. And if I'm creating a teacher this some way, and they're creating unique and interesting ways of doing this stuff, I want my NPC to go, yeah, that's awesome. That works. The other thing is that they also, by competence, they also mean the ability to themselves adapt things. Because in a large event style quest, if you're just my NPC and I'm the QM, I may be over way somewhere else, creating something, running another section that's having difficulty, smoothing it out. Meanwhile, 3 NPCs come up to you and go, here, I want to do this and this and this and this and this. I want to bypass your area back there and do this. I don't want somebody who's going to go, you can't, because the QM says you're not allowed to go past yet. I want somebody who's going to go, no! Here's why. Beyond this area is darkness. And without me and my torch, you're going to stub your toes.
And that's gonna hurt!
And it's really going to hurt you. And those toe stubbing is your annihilations. I want somebody who's going to give a reason why they're going to say no. If they're going to say no, there's got to be a reason. I don't like saying no to NPCs. If they come up with something nifty, I usually let them go with it. They may not work as well as they want it to. And they go, I have an awesome idea. Here's magma. Pro flame. Woo! It's 20 feet deep. They can still get across. I'm going to give them a timeline and say you have to hold your breath. Okay. As long as you're in the lava, you can only take 1 step every 5 seconds, and you got to hold your breath. And if I see them go, you're dead.
You just breathe lava.
You may be immune to fire, but you're not immune to breathing. So people are going to create interesting things like that. You know, sometimes it's just knee-high. Now they got to wade through the lava. That's not a big deal. Sometimes it's going to be over their head. But I want somebody who's going to be able to make that call and go, you can't bypass me. You can try, and here's what's going to happen to you. And if they find a good way to bypass, and it makes sense, and it's a small section of the quest, and NPC goes, no, they just thought of everything. I couldn't come up with anything. I'm going to go, okay, I know you. I know you're confident. I know you can think of stuff on your feet. If they just outthought you, they earned it. They got it. The last one is the ability to read. A person who knows magic, knows spells, no ranges, no rules, all that kind of stuff. So when they go, I'm going to jump this lava here. Ha-ha! They step in the lava and they keep running. And they go, you're dead. Step in the lava. No, I'm not. You're dead. They're going to make the call and be the jerks going, no, you didn't make it. You didn't clear it. You're dead. You know, that spell you were trying to cast was out of range. This is another quality of NPCs. Now, with all 5 of these things, you don't need every NPC to have each one. If you are going to be a horde of barbarians who are going to attack anyone who provokes you, oh, well, you need a little bit of roleplay, and you need fighting. That's all I need you to have. You're good. If you're going to be Paige the Siege Dragon at the end of the quest, I need you to have fighting, casting, roleplay, and confidence. You also kind of need to know how to take your own spells, but you're not going to be worried about other people's casting on it. You're going to be worried about yourself. You're a monster, you're a boss. If I'm going to get you to be the innkeeper, and you're going to be sitting there chilling, telling all the NPCs all the information, I need you to have role play. I need you to have confidence. I need you to be able to read for depth count, things like that. These are your categories. If you want to, if you're not sure, look at the NPCs, go, what does this NPC have to have out of these 5 categories? what NPCs, what people do I have, and how am I going to put them in. Shane's going to talk to you guys more about how to determine NPCs and why they're important, and the difference between NPCs and monsters, because there is a massive difference. We often group them together as one thing. NPCs are non-player characters. They're usually your talkers, your walkers, your innkeepers, your drunken dwarves. Your monsters are the things that are going to be from the monster book. They're going to be things they have to fight, they have to do stuff with. Shane will explain that a lot better to you guys later on. But I'm going to move on past NPCs now. Does anyone have any questions about these categories or anything about NPCs, and anyone have any issues with that kind of stuff that they want to bring forward so people understand that there are problems with picking the wrong NPC for the wrong role?
Maybe describe some scenarios where you picked the wrong NPC for a role.
Jonesy. All the guy to death. He's a great character. Yeah. He's a great character if you want him to be a fighter. There's been some times, he was actually one of the main dragons in my Dragon Quest, and he was absolutely fantastic. Because his role was, he was a fighter, he was a caster, he role-played, and he had the confidence to be able to do stuff. He did some amazing things. He actually put the quest back online 2 times to start the quest. In that case, it was awesome. And other times, he's also a guy that sometimes he gets bored. That's the worst part. When NPCs get bored, your quest starts doing some really weird shit. I've seen him in quests where he just kind of goes, I'm bored. I'm going to kill PCs. You're the good NPC. You don't kill random people. What are you doing?
Climate change.
But that is with him. You have to also be aware of the NPCs you're selecting. If you don't know them, personally, or don't know them through previous experience as an NPC or whatever, you don't always want to give them the big important roles. I once did a quest when I was relatively new. I gave one of my main NPC roles to a stick job. And the role was he had to sit in his chair, and he was bound there, and all the monsters, all the PCs had to come in and free him by the just magical means of his daggers, blah, 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 blah. He got bored, got out of the chair, and started fighting people. I went, you're locked in the chair, and I got myself out. No! So, there are some times where poor NPC choices can really screw you over. But there are some times, like I said, with last night with Shane, where NPC choices where you only have to give them a little bit of information, and they'll just run all around with it, creating a much more in-depth and elaborate character. Hey, Shane.
Hello. I'm learning.
You just missed the section on NPCs.
I thought you weren't doing a section on NPCs.
I just went over quickly. I said that you'll do it a lot better than I would.
No, I won't.
Yeah. All right.
He's probably already covered everything I'm going to cover.
No.
Eat him.
All right. Up next is props and garb. These 2 things are important for pretty obvious reasons. You need garb, and you need props. Next section.
Creepier the props, the better.
Props and garb, why they're important. Garb for monsters. Again, Shane will probably go over this a little later on as to why using garb is so appropriate to create the proper monster. But ultimately, garb is important to create atmosphere. When you're creating a quest, you're trying to immerse people in the quest itself and get them really, really interested in it. Garb and interesting items is the best way to do this. Hang on, let me get some.
I stole all of it.
Shane, those look familiar.
Yeah,
There's tiles.
my favorite.
Pretty simple, aren't they? But they look cool. They look like stone. And instantly somebody sees those and goes, hey, that's not grass and that's not a flagging table. What does that do? It's kind of a terrain effect, and terrain effects apply the same way. Having something that will just cause people to notice it more and be more interactive. What you guys are going to be doing later on tonight is creating a unique piece of garb for at least one monster Order one NPC for your section tonight. That'll be done with Shirley. Unfortunately, we don't have the time to create elaborate like robes and super fancy stuff. Probably going to be a tablet with some paint on it. But something that at least stands out and is different is what you want in your quest. Something that people are going to go, I recognize who that is and what they're for. If you're going to have a dwarf, what do you want them to have?
A beard.
A beard!
Beer.
If you're going to have a fire elemental, what do you want them to have?
Red.
Fire. Something red.
Red. You don't want to get them active fire.
A lighter.
Elemental.
I got this. It's my
Take the
thing.
sword and like.
If you're having a fairy, what do you want the fairy to have?
Wings.
Wings.
Black fat.
Me too.
Alright, we're going to do this the opposite way. I'm going to tell you something that you
Spider
see.
in the trunk.
Somebody walking around. You're going to tell me what you think they are. You see a guy walking around with horns and a big axe.
Demon.
Minotaur.
Oh.
Alright? You see a guy walking around with a bow and pointy ears. This skips a step in your what do I see? The worst thing ever is to see me going out there like this and them going, what do I see? A dragon! What?
Well, you'd be a green dragon.
I'd be a green dragon.
Born dragon.
Color coding is very important. Yes, I could be a green dragon. I should have wings. I should have some kind of facial paint or something to make me go,
Grr.
dragon! If I'm a dragon like this, people are going to go, oh, it's Tim fighting. If people see me in a dragon helmet with wings and claw-like weapons, they're going to go, oh, it's Tim playing a... And it will just immerse them more into the role and also make them feel a little more scared more often than not, believe it or not. So garb for monsters and NPCs is important. If you want a color code to your good NPCs, you know, all the kingdom's guards are wearing white tabards. So you see somebody walking around with a white tabard, they go, oh, it's a guard, I can be talking about this thing. All the people walking around in green tabards are the goblins. Now people know that. All the people walking around in orange tabards, well, they're going to be phoenixes. There's like 12, I don't know. A lot of phoenixes.
Seriously?
Dude.
Goddamn.
But does the phoenix one make sense? Orange tabards, is that good enough for a phoenix? But it would make sense if they're all thieves. Or if they're all brigade members.
Brigade members make sense.
You have to make sure that your color coding does make sense in some kind of form of fashion. Assassins should probably be wearing black. Or dark earth tones, something like that. But if you want to color code your NPCs to all uniform, I had like 50 tabards. Well, like 25 tabards. Of different colors. And I'll put them on groups of people so they go, those 4 people, they're together. Those 4 people, they're together. Those 3 people there, they're clearly a dragon, a fairy, and a phoenix in an orange tabard. Clearly. Everyone's going to be walking around at Baltic Quest going, if you see anybody with an orange tabard, they're a phoenix. What?
Where's Dave? Where's Dave? Dave, wear this orange tabard for me. If anybody asks, you're a phoenix.
Props.
What? Why?
Later on today, you're going to be going over with me prop making, and we're going to create a couple unique things for everybody. Props are very important to create, again, atmosphere, right? Props can be reusable. Like these things I've had for like 3 years now. They're wonderful. I use them all the time. I have these flagpoles. They're over here. I've been using them since GE 4 years ago. They're still around. I keep them. They're great for marking terrain. They're great for using as a banner. You know, Shane's demonic horde is marching towards him. How awesome would it be for each of those squirrel NPCs to be walking around with a little tiny little black flag, and Shane be walking around with a massive black flag going, yeah! And then Paige walking in on the other side, walking around with these white flags for all the archangels, and a big white flag for her. Again, it adds. These are props. These things you can add in. We'll be talking more about it later on in the next class, about how to create unique props. But something you should keep in mind is that some props you should let PCs keep. The souvenirs. PCs love stuff. Who here doesn't love stuff? Doesn't love stuff. Love stuff. Don't tell me
You're
that.
funny.
Everyone loves stuff.
I love that tree.
Still have stuff in my first class.
There's some things you're going to let PCs keep. Gems, gold, things like that. You're putting them in your quest, never expect them to get them. Because you're not. Bigger things like if you make an intricate dragon's head or something like that, and you plan to keep it for NPCs later on, you might have a little fight going, I took the dragon's head, yeah! Awesome, you have a dragon's head, but give it back. No, seriously, give it back.
But it's so pretty.
And you're going to have that fight with some PCs going, no, that thing cost me $80. Give it.
Or then you get some PCs that just go out and buy their own props after they finish the quest.
Yep.
Thank you, Magnus.
He went out
Honorable
and
mention
killed
just to
Ice
you.
Fang just because he found this huge, ornate, awesome freaking dragon's head online and wanted an excuse to buy it.
Well then.
No, that was, what's the dragon's name?
Ice Fang.
Ice Fang. And, yeah, he killed it, so he got the head.
There's also his way of saying Ice Fang can never come back. His head is in my mantle.
But Mirror Ice Fang, and I have his head.
He was mad.
Alright, so props. Again, some things you're gonna give away. If you make like little Fubar made his quest recently, some little tent pegs with flame effect on them. And I think I saw like 6 people walking around. People going, hey, look at this thing, it's awesome!
Yeah, half of them went up. I don't know.
And people probably spent like 20 minutes on them going, hot glue, awesome, looks great. But people walk around and going, hey, look at this prop. Props are like a cornerstone.
Don't like it, it's fire.
Quest. Props are one of the cornerstones of your quest. So you gotta make sure you have, if it's a key prop, it's gotta be impressive. It's gotta be something that's gonna be unique and nifty. I am telling you guys now, because this video is not going to be aired until after Battle of the Dens. In the final fight, which is something that I am writing, the final fight is going to involve PCs charging through a wall of cardboard boxes. They literally have to charge through the wall to go and attack the final monster.
Yes.
No,
So
really,
we're
guys.
not
Really.
posting this video yet, right?
So really.
Oh god, we're streaming live!
Shit.
Someone shut the internet!
No, really.
So I'll just call my
you have to
dad.
just like run through it.
We're
So,
going to be
like,
spray painting boxes
No, you just run
gray and putting stone patterns on them. Because I guarantee you, everybody who's going to be running through the quest shop is going to be like, we're going to charge through the wall? Look that! Sometimes in the quest you just want to create those things where they're going, ah!
Oh god, Paige, don't stand on the other side of that.
The dragon page's on the other side!
That would throw everybody off.
I'm not going to
Look,
I wanna
Rex,
go around,
you baby
actually.
dragon.
I want to hear everybody.
You're the final boss dragon now.
I want to hear everybody's thoughts of what's the most impressive prop they've seen to this date in quests. So everybody here has gone through a quest at this point. Everybody here has seen several. I want to start with what the most impressive, interesting prop you have seen so far in the quests. Riley?
It's definitely the one that you made for Kristen and I. It's the like box that had the runes on it, made out of foam, and you had to put the like gems in it, and it had like a secret hole in the side, and if you like there was a light inside, you poked it, and it turned on and lit up all the gems.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that took me several hours. It was a foam. It was crafted out of foam. It was designed to be a circular tablet. And on the bottom of the tablet was a touch light that lit up. And then there were holes that when you got gems, you could put these gems in, and just there were slits already in them. You put the gems in it bent open, the light shined through the gem lit up. Then they found out there was things like you had to open up side compartments and rip off parts of it, and there was sub-writing and all over it. It took me a lot of time, but those things like that would cause things to really be remembered about. But that took me hours.
Mine's actually the one I was just talking about before, and I like it just because of how simple it was. GE, not last year, but the year before, there was the gypsy who was giving out scrolls that had spells on them. And I ended up not using my scrolls, but I still have the actual scroll that says on them right what they do. So I carry those around with me. I have them at all times.
Scrolls are awesome. People love scrolls.
They have to hoard them.
People never use scrolls.
No. I got this scroll. I'm never going to use it.
Mine.
Sir Blackhawk in one of my quests pulled out a scroll that he had for like 10 years. Can I use this teleportation scroll? How old is that thing? I got it in like 1994. I wasn't even playing Amtgard then. Can I use it?
Because it'll finally be used.
In the quest that we'll be running, I will be having a small shop where they'll be selling scrolls and stuff like that, miscellaneous things and people love that. They can just buy stuff. They can buy a protect. They can buy stones. They can buy teleports. People love that. What was your favorite prop you've seen?
Actually, it was during a battle, a mini game down at Zombie 8 my Amtgard. They actually came out in a full-fledged mask that was built. They took rocks into the plaster and molded a rock face for it.
Really?
And the whole point was we were supposed to take the head and literally break it. It took us about 45 minutes to realize we actually had to break it.
People hate breaking stuff, and I throw that into my quest every once in a
really
while.
bad. They're like, no, hit it.
No, you're supposed to.
Okay.
Like we were talking about last night, Shane reminded me of a quest I ran where they had these jars and they actually had to shatter the jars to complete the quest. And they got confused because they're like, okay, break the jars. Alright? Fireball. No, break the jars. Sword.
Powerful blows.
No, you gotta break the jar. Sphere.
You gotta
No.
You gotta
break
break
the
the
That just
jar.
made it disappear.
And they went, actually break the jar. Yes.
Like, destroy this thing on the ground. Yeah.
Like throw.
You're sure? Hooray, one done. I mean, they were just flower pots.
Yeah. They were dollar store flower pots.
Yeah.
They were just cost me nothing to buy. They were just looked and they had to break them.
Did you steal them?
Dollar store, yay.
Tim's
Does anyone else have
only
any other pops they want to talk about? Something that really stood out, or a section of quest that really stood out in your minds. Something like terrain effect, or something that was just like, wow, they put a lot of effort.
That bought you last year when we did the midnight quest and there was the strobe lights. Effect in the dark. It was dark in the base, could see nothing, and we were fighting lightning elementals, and there was a strobe light going the whole time. And it was insane because you just see a flash of like a lightning bolt coming at you all of a sudden. You're like,
Oh,
ah!
God.
It's our ending for both the PCs and the end.
So it was a lot of fun.
It was a good concept, eh? Just terrible.
I think my
The upside-
face still hurts from that one.
The upside was, for the NPCs, it was facing our back, so we could just see forward. For the PCs, they were looking forward, so all of a sudden there was this bright light flashing at them. And they saw us going,
Why are you fighting electric?
but just small things like that. And again, that was a strobe light I bought from the dollar store for $2. Put it up on the fence, and it made the fight that much more interesting. So just think about how going, okay, I'm doing a fight with fire elementals. Is there any way I can get smoke in here? Without actually lighting a fire? Don't actually like fire. Don't like that.
Light the forest on
So
fire.
just trying to think of things like that.
Seeger, no.
I'm having a water fight in a blazing hot day. They're fighting water elementals. Is there a hose nearby?
Squirt guns.
Can I get a hose set up? Can I get squirt guns? I did a quest at Battle of the Dens a couple years ago where I had spitting snakes.
Best monster ever.
And I had monks going up to spitting snakes going, oh please. Alright. Just going on to some general notes. Things that you'll know about when you start writing quests, stuff like that. Ensure there's enough combat in your quest. Make sure there's something for people to fight. There's enough stuff for people to do. You have no combat in your quest, and it's a free range quest, or a Dropbox quest, or a time companion quest, you're going to people start just killing PCs. It's going to happen all the time. A reward system of some kind. If people find gold, they keep the gold. Tell PCs how they've done in the quest. Time-dependent things. For the final fight at the Dragon Quest, while the final boss is being set up, I stood outside there and went, this quest. So I stand there with my pamphlet, just like this. And I went, fruit from the farm. Dragons need food. They want you to bring it to them and prove that you are indeed friendly. Quest was complete. Allowed you to move on to the next quest. Precious minerals. Dragons sometimes require palladium to use on the dragon's breath weapon. They currently are not out, but are running low. Oh, yeah. That's poor grammar. But then I go, you completed this. Guess what? You proved to the dragons that you were good enough for them. They are now fighting with you to fight the Karass. And people go, oh, sweet. And they go, oh, all those quests we did now make sense. Now the dragons can fight with us. And One of the ones that they failed. One of the big ones they failed, actually. Shane was the hunter during that quest. And the entire quest, he was going and telling the PCs that he wants to get the one final kill for his collection. He's a hunter. He's going to retire soon. It's his final deed. He wants to kill a dragon in one shot. The most powerful arrow he'll ever create. He'll kill a dragon in one shot. He'll have a perfectly good body. He'll be able to melt and stuff. Awesome, right? PCs went through 2 hours of questing to get the bow, the arrow, the improved head for the arrow, the fletching, trapping the dragon, tricking the dragon. Shane finally gets to do the final shot thing, kills the dragon, one shot, bam! Dragon's dead. Barbarian walks up. Oh, it's dead! Rips off the head! And PCs went, no! Technically, they completed the quest. They killed the dragon. Then they destroyed the entire goal of everything they'd worked for. The hunter in that quest was the person who was going to tell them, hey, here's how to kill the Trask. You got to get eaten, fight the stomach, then fight the outside. And the hunter after that went, I'm not helping you. I'm out. He wasn't there for the final fight. It took the PCs a lot longer to figure out what they had to do.
But that barber was dead.
Oh yeah, no, they killed the barbarian. To this day, he's still made fun of. That's so funny. They had a choice at one point to either cure the wells through the dragon or the hunters. They chose the wrong side. That's why half of them were poisoned, that whole weekend thing. But again, a reward system and a penalty system for not completing things right. When you're dealing with your local park, you're going to find tricks and things like that people love. History and just niches for every park. Use those to your advantage. My final words. There are some great quest masters that have come out of the Northern Empire. All of us have had some phenomenal quests. Some quests where they're still spoken of to this day. And what you don't hear about as much is those quests that we wrote that completely bombed. Every QM is going to have a quest that is going to bomb. To this day, I still have them. I'll run a quest in Wolfgang, and I'm like, hey, this is an awesome thing. And people are like, that was terrible. I didn't have any fun with it. And I go, oh. So, don't be discouraged. If you run a quest and it doesn't go off exactly how you wanted it to, or people go, it was fun, but I really didn't get it, don't take it personally. Look at it as a chance to learn from it. Go, all right, you didn't have fun. Why didn't you have fun? The NPC that was supposed to be helping us just kept talking around us. They didn't actually tell us anything. It was so frustrating. Oh, that was a poor NPC choice in my part. I'll remember that next time. The prop you made for us, the paint was smeared and we couldn't read the writing on it, so we didn't get the final patch, but we couldn't get anything. Oh, I need to work on my props. Awesome. Ask for feedback. Ask for input from people, and that's how you get your quest done.